Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Game Changers. My name's Phil and I'm going to show you how to bring something new to your barbecue. Today I'm going to show you how to make a porchetta on a rotisserie with a Korean twist. So we're going to be using some sushi ginger, some red pepper flakes, a barbecue seasoning, we've got some gochujang, we've got some twine, which is going to be very key, but I'm shocking when it comes to butcher's knots, so we'll see how that turns out. And we're going to be using a meter because we need to know the exact internal temperature of this so we know when to pull it. It's going to be a fairly simple recipe, but patience is a virtue when it comes to porchetta. So we're going to be cooking this on the Whistler Cirencester like we did on the last episode, but we're going to be using a different feature, and that is the electric rotisserie. So what we'll do, we'll put the rotisserie unit on, plug it in, and away it goes. But it's going to be, and this is the cool bit, it's going to be cooked using the honeycomb ceramic back burner rather than the bottom burners, and that's just going to help us create a really nice even cook, and it'll also help get this skin lovely and crispy. Some people butterfly that middle bit out. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as a nice loin. With a porchetta, which is a classic Italian recipe, what you're essentially looking for is you've got this piece of belly or a big thick piece of loin there, and you could cut that off and just make some nice, some nice pork loin steaks. But with a porchetta, what we're going to do is roll it. So the really important thing to remember with this as well is that you don't want all of the skin rolled into the middle of it. So what we're going to be doing is just making a little mark here. So roll it up as tight as you can, and then make a note of where the skin ends. So really we're looking for, so again, pack it nice and tight, just make a nice score line across there and then take that bit of skin off. Otherwise, in the middle of your porchetta, or in this case kind of like a rolled loin, what you're going to end up with is rubbery, horrible, gristly skin because it's not going to get any heat. What we're going to do now, again, pull that nice and tight, just make a nice score mark across there so we know where we're working to. There we go. There we go. That'll do. So then we'll flip it over, and then we're just going to take that skin off. So a bit of a deeper cut there. Nice and easy. You'll pull it away, you'll get a bit of silver skin on there, a little bit of membrane. So it'll come away without much drama. There we go. And you could spend hours getting rid of all that as well, but to be honest, you're not much worse off for leaving it on. Now flip it back over. I wasn't going to butterfly this out, but I'm just going to make a really small selection of cuts across there, and then that's going to enable us to get more of a roll on it. So yeah, what we've got here now is essentially a blank canvas, and what we're going to do with it is we're going to get our filling, which we'll do in layers. We're going to get our filling on there and then get it nice and tight and rolled up. So for this cook, we are doing this on a gas rotisserie, but it's important to remember as well, similar to the other questions we've had on our other recipes, that this is really easy to transfer over to any other format, whether you're doing it in the oven whether you're doing it over coals and you've got a rotisserie, it's exactly the same principle. Just with your coals, just make sure that there's not too many of them and it's not directly underneath the meat, because you will find that it will burn a lot quicker than it cooks. A really important aspect of this kind of cook is going to be the internal temperature of the meat. So for this one, I'm going to use a Meter Plus. This is a wireless meat thermometer. When it comes to rotisserie, it's pretty much unmatched in the kind of range and the ability to have it on a rotisserie without strangling your food. This one goes into the thickest part of the meat. Again, here we've got a nice fat chunk of loin there. So I'll pop that in there. Again, that won't be under direct heat for the whole cook, and that will give us complete control over what's going on in there, because we'll know when to pull it, we'll know when to rest it, and we'll know when to carve it. So my other half isn't going to be particularly pleased with this, but I've got one of these foil serving trays, and I keep getting told off for using them, but they're very convenient. That's going to stay under the pork, and that's just going to stop the grill getting really particularly dirty, but also it's going to help us keep some of that flavour. So if we want to use it for anything else, we could use it for, well, whatever you want really. We can use it to rebase the pork, whatever takes your fancy, but I never like wasting fat or flavour, so we're going to catch it and keep it for later. Now all that's left to do is turn it on. I'm excited about that. That's going to be good. But you can see straight away how quickly that's crisped up while I was sorting that out. The other thing is, a lot of what people will do when it comes to rotisseries, they'll leave the lid open. This is the perfect situation to close the lid. You're going to create a much better environment for the rest of it to cook down. So I'm going to close the lid, we're going to leave that to do its thing, and I'm going to set up the meter app and pretty much trust the app all the way through. The next stage of this cook is to set up our Meter Plus. Now this is, as I said, a wireless meat thermometer. You've got 50 meters worth of range, but that repeats from this charger box. So we need that as close as we can to the actual cook. Luckily this is magnetic, so we'll pop that there. Set up cook, pork, we go to roasting joints, which is there. Then we'll go to loin, and then we want, Clarky, how would you like your pork done, sir? Because this is being served to you.
I'd probably go medium well, but that's because I've only just learned you can cook pork less than well done. Okay, so if we go for like a 66, you alright with that? So 66, and then that is fully set up, ready to go. We just wait for the beep. It's going to tell us 5 minutes before it's ready. Obviously we are going to check it to make sure the skin's not burning and see if we've got to turn the temp down at all. But this is pretty much going to tell us when the internal temperature is ready to eat. Now guys, is the moment of truth, and here we have our finished porchetta. Now it's caught a little bit on the back, as I didn't realise that I'd kicked the plug out of the rotisserie a little bit earlier on, but we've got beautiful crispy skin, and we've got meat that is just, A, it smells amazing, and B, it is just quite keen to chuck out a lot of that juice. So we need to rest this now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop it down onto the cutting board. I'm going to leave it there to rest for about 5-6 minutes, and then we're going to carve it. Look at that.
Oh my god. And there we have it. Korean porchetta. I am struggling to talk at the moment because my mouth is watering that much. So let's get Clarky over to see what he thinks. So I'm just going to cut a few bits off for this for you, because I don't want you to eat a whole slice, because I'm planning on you leaving as much here as possible when you leave. So which part do you want?
I don't know, like a nice edge piece. It's got a bit of fat, bit of meat.
I think this looks like the best bit, so we'll go for that. Got a bit of loin in the middle.
Oh, listen to that sound, look at that crunch.
And I didn't even need to scrape the crackling.
Oh, it's one of Phil's pet hates.
I'm just staring at the camera so people know I'm talking about them.
Get off, that's my bit.
No, that's my bit.
No.
Good. It's a good face.
I hope the microphone picked that.
Good face, waiting for the good noise.
So much going on.
Oh!
I don't even think this is like a particularly... I never looked at this and thought, I'm not eating that. But it's all the flavours of it, I wouldn't have put them together. Beautiful. Yeah. Not so much need me game change with that one, but game enlightened, I'll say.
Yeah. I think with this dish particularly, because it's such a classic Italian dish, he was just taking it in a completely different direction. And again, this is pretty much a tip of the cap to heritage and like the heritage of people around me that I work with. I work with quite a few Italians, and to be fair, the food that they bring to the table is just incredible. So having my own little version of that, I think, is a lovely little tip of the cap to Anas and David. So
I was just the juices of it and the flavours, like so much flavour of the meat, wasn't overwhelmed by anything, but everything else just went with it perfectly. Even with all that flavour with the ginger and that, I'd still have that with some roast potatoes and some Yorkshire puds.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe gravy with a bit of chilli in it to give it a bit of kick to the gravy.
Yeah,
but
something with loads of garlic on, like, because you know, Korean.
Amazing.
Wicked. So less game changed and more game won. I'll take it. Right guys, that's that Korean porchetta done on the Whistler grill. An absolute win with Clarky, a win with me, and now I'm going to go and finish as much of this as possible before I pass out at the table. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and drop a comment below if you've cooked porchetta, or if you've got an idea of some flavours that we could put in one of the next videos. So thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.